don't believe those old stories, do you? You think somewhere in this ocean there's a gigantic pearl that shines so brightly it can be seen from passing ships? And that sometimes sailors so allured by its luster actually fling themselves overboard to dive for it and are never heard from again?
Yeah, and I think it's right over...
Bah! I've been walking this ocean for years. I ain't never seen it.
No, really?
You poor... Tell me you...
Could you...
Oh,
Well, I don't want to...
Okay.
Watch out for...
Who? These guys? Oh, they don't mess with old Chapito. I'm too bright for them. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light... Hey, lay off! Let go! Let go! Let go! Get your own lamp, pal! Whatever happened to the coat?
You all right?
I'm a spirit of the land, Manny, not of the sea.
Hang in there, Mano. You all right?
I'm a spirit of the land, Manny, not of the sea. Hello? Miss Colomar! We're here to save you!
Hey, lay off the racket. The whole town's asleep.
But I want a drag race! When they get a load of my car, we're gonna be the talk of the town!
You're right. We're gonna have to find a good place to hide that road show. Speaking of hiding, I wonder if Mitch is here already. I'm gonna go see what I can stir up. Not a bad piece of real estate, actually. It's got potential.
The sort of whale sounds in the music are overblowing on the contrabass clarinet.
Yeah.
Ralph Carney doing his little... That's the same thing with the birds that jump up at you and surprise you and squawk.
So this is like a play on moth navigation. Like they say that moths fly into lights because they're used to using the moon for navigation, and they're not used to electric lights. And so he's used to using the moon for navigation, but he's been distracted by this thing called the Pearl, and it's made him go march in circles all the years.
This little light of mine... What am I supposed to do with this?
Follow me.
Where are you taking me?
To the moon.
Manny, is that... the Pearl?
I can't get anywhere near the sub while that monster's guarding it.
You know, Tim's really into Black Velvet.
Yeah.
And when I showed up my first day of work, there was a Black Velvet kind of canvas. I don't know what it was. It was like this kind of like you'd win it at the fair kind of thing. And it was like the Grim Reaper on a motorcycle with Mount Fuji in the background with these eagles flying out of it. Yeah. And it was just pinned to the wall above my desk on the project. And for the entire project, we really didn't talk much about it. It was just kind of there. And then when I moved on to the next project after it, I left my desk exactly the way I had found it, with the thing pinned up to the wall and the whole thing. And then Tim...
Hey! Where are you going? You can't leave!
Donut?
And this is the part of the game I feel like is a lot more inspired by actually.
What if that octopus comes
Pokemon?
It's
Tim had the coolest office.
He did.
It was filled with like tiki lights, and it felt like it was like Christmas land. Not Christmassy, but it gave you that same feeling
Yeah.
of decoration. And are the 3 stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's
Yeah.
little
It's
stripes
just
on there.
the
Yeah.
Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah,
I never knew what it was. I just thought it was cool.
it's an Adidas homage.
And so people, a lot of people may know this already, but for those that don't, the game is just a big pre-rendered picture. There's no 3D geometry in the game that describes the walls and the doors and the tables and all the props that are in the game. That's just a picture, a painting that's drawn in the background. So somebody had to go in manually and kind of make what we call walk boxes, but they're in 3D space. They're like a little model that just describes in 3D space where Manny's allowed to walk. And if you turn the background off, they just look like they're floating in space. There's nothing there, and there's boxes for walking.
I always thought those girls are so cute. I just had to be mean to them. Like once when my sister got her tonsils taken out, she had big puffy cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my aunt came to visit, and she goes, "Oh, you look so cute. I just want to be mean to you." I never really understood it until we had these little baby angels in the game. And I just want to just terrorize them so you can get out your scythe and scare them and do all these horrible things.
It's the
little
Mr. Bill and it's the Mr. Hands in all of us.
Is that true?
Mitch is my...
She talk every time. I don't know.
Let me see if I... You see, if I saw... Now,
You're a go. Yeah, go.
I'm here to help.
You can't. We have to. She'd be. Sometimes.
Listen,
There's really not. Your hands are
my hands...
then wide.
I just don't...
Here, take.
Angelitos is actually the little children in the cage. Comes from a term that it was a popular kind of
Okay, back to work.
well, it was traditional in Mexico to take pictures of your children, even if they were died very young.
Yes.
Like photography of
It's
little dead
it's a
children
whole
in a coffin.
genre. Yeah, it's.
I don't know if that
really-
happened in the States, but it was.
Tim had the coolest office. Tim had the... Are the 3 stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
Oh, look, it's my... Are you back?
Yeah, so people, a lot of people may know this already, but for those that don't, the game is just a big pre-rendered picture. There's no 3D geometry in the game that describes.
And this was my best
Come on, we're getting out of here.
trying to... Manny, don't
I think we need...
start talking.
I'm not after it.
Then why don't you just ask your boss for the day?
Can't believe...
I think he's... We don't seem to have...
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not... But I'll tell you one thing.
Name it.
Give me your gun.
No, I won't. I have a lot of explaining to do.
Save your breath. Domino's explained it all to me already.
They didn't issue me a gun.
What, are you on probation? I'm not buying this, Manuel. Manny, why don't you come back when you're willing to deal...
Good enough for me.
What is?
Oh, the speed at which you're working.
That's...
Good. Excellent. Carry on.
Tim had the coolest office.
He did.
It was filled with, like,
And this is the part of the game I feel like is a lot more inspired by actually City of Lost Children.
Children, yeah, right.
Which was... This is where people nowadays would be like, Tim, the ideas you have here about this conveyor belt where you can switch directions and rip a chain with a scoop, it's really complicated. And we could eliminate a lot of work if we just cut this one puzzle. But this is like, no, we went all the way and we fully implemented exactly what I hoped would happen. The conveyor belt would reverse direction.
So one of the things that was super, another technical problem that was really interesting was the safe.
All that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine. The game is running in the Jedi Knight engine, and the
oh, that's right.
all the streamed videos from the Rebel Salt engine.
That is right.
So we're compositing Rebel Salt technology on top of Jedi Knight technology, and then all the Lua scripting for the gameplay. Is that what comprised the Grime engine, which we never actually called the Grime engine at the time, but Brett wanted to call it the Grime engine. It was like
that's
Grim.
funny.
And in later, he's been able to do enough interviews where he's called it the Grime engine that people just call it the Grime engine. Now that's fine. It should have a name.
Everything should.
All that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine. The game is running in the Jedi Knight engine, and the
oh, that's right.
all the streamed videos from the Rebel Salt engine.
That is right.
So we're composing.
So this whole...
I can't get out of here. There's no ladder. I can't get out of here. There's no ladder.
All that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine. The game is running in the Jedi Knight engine.
I can't get out of here. There's no ladder. I can't can't get out of here. There's no ladder. Uh-oh. Nothing but dark waters that direction.
One of the things with Manny's head and the look at stuff was it really meant that you couldn't put a lot of inventory items very close to each other or limited the number of things in a room, because even though you could toggle through and he would look at things kind of in sequence, it could get tricky on if you put like 3 things on a table. Is he looking at thing number 1, thing number 2, or thing number 3? So that was an interesting thing, because Lucas was known for these adventure games with very dense, lots of things to click on in the screen, and you really couldn't do that here. But the game doesn't really feel lacking for it.
I feel like that's filled in with dialogue. I mean, ultimately, you know, you'd have those hunt the pixel games. You have a million things, and you'd have to have one line for each thing. And with this one, it's more like there are fewer things, but there's more to say about each one, or more context, or you know, Manny kind of thinking to himself about things. It's a little more ruminating. So I think it adds to the character just in terms of how much you kind of understand Manny or empathize with him.
Where'd you find you?
Hey, it's really not much use without bullets.
Reciprocating chisel. This scene is kind of actually right out of the Fountainhead. This really, I think it's. And this is the part of the game I feel like is a lot more inspired by actually City of Lost Children.
Children, yeah, right.
Which that came out around that time. And this is the part of the game I feel like is a lot more inspired by actually City of Lost. God, this is where people now, and this is where people nowadays would be like, Tim, the ideas you have here about this conveyor belt where you can switch directions and rip a chain with a scoop, it's really complicated, and we could eliminate a lot of work if we just cut this one puzzle. But this is like, no, we went all the way.
So, one of the things...
So this whole environment, I think, was worked on around the end of the game, and we had to bring a few other artists on at the end in order to get it all done.
Yeah. No, and then I kind of remember that towards the end, because it was just like a skeleton crew, because I think just the budget had gotten so big that I just remember Pete and a few other people working on it for a couple months or something.
Yeah.
While all of us had to move on to other projects.
So this whole
those look like my sister's curling irons.
I was just going to say, those things always scared me. They are truly terrifying.
The
those
curling iron
grinder.
things?
No,
the grinders.
The grinders. The curling irons, to a lesser degree.
Those are based on my sister's curling iron.
I can't even imagine what was going through his head at this point, because just the size of this game, being able to absorb it all before it's realized,
And he always had a really good idea of where we were and what was going on. Yep. And we were talking earlier about...
Now all that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine. The game is running in the Jedi Knight engine.
One of the things that was another technical problem that was really interesting was the save load, because I wanted to cut a bunch of corners on save load.
This is where people nowadays would be like, Tim, the ideas you have here about this conveyor belt where you can switch directions and rip a chain with a scoop, it's really complicated. We could eliminate a lot of it.
I can't believe you got it to float.
That was the easy part. The trick's gonna be busting through that big coral reef out there.
Bust through a big coral reef, eh? It just so happens I got some hardware up the beach you might be interested in.
Oh yeah, this will do just fine. Just give me a sec to do some figuring.
All that water is running in the Rebel Salt engine.
Done that already. It's really not much use without bullets. It's really not much use without... It's really not... Here, what good's a relationship without trust?
True. A relationship without trust is about as empty as a gun without bullets. Guess you didn't realize a smart girl always keeps an extra round in her hat for mad days. Come on, let's go.
Mitchie, you don't know what you're...
I know exactly what I'm doing. Now move!
Would you just listen to my escape plan first?
Trouble in paradise, kids?
You're letting us go right now, or your boy Friday here gets it.
Well, I hate to see you go, Manny, but the lady seems to have made up her mind.
I'm serious. I'll shoot him.
Fine. He really doesn't work for me anyway.
But I thought I'll shoot you then.
No, you won't. You're too good, remember?
I'm not good anymore. You've taken that out of me, keeping me a prisoner here. I'm gonna crack you open like a fake wing gauze. I'm gonna...
Kid's all right. She's a firecracker, but a night in the cooler usually dampens her fuse.
Domino! Domino!
Taking your first coffee break already, Calavera?
We got a score to settle this thing.
You know, if I ever spoke to my boss Hector that way...
You killed my best friend.
The demon? Manny, you can use a demon as a driver. Let him carry your messages, let him serve you food. but you can't ever start thinking of them as friends. It's just not natural.
How can you keep little children in a cage?
Trust me, it's easier than keeping big kids in a cage.
Why don't you just sprout me like you tried at Puerto Zapato?
That wasn't me. That was Hector. He's so unimaginative. Just wants to tie up the loose ends, you know? But I believe, however, that you can be rehabilitated through honest work.
Well, I gotta get back to trying to escape.
Hey, you do that, kid. Knock yourself out.
Hey! Phoebe!
I don't want to mess up the...
Phoebe!
I don't want to mess up the wheel. The wheel's my friend.
Anybody! It's me, Meche! Hey! Manny, where are you?
Ah!
Domino, you'd better let me out of here!
Must have hit a major circuit. But it looks like I've exposed the guts here. I don't want to mess up the wheel. Those tumblers must be made of a harder steel than the outer door. I can't move those by hand. I need this wheel. I can't move.
Are the three stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's little stripes on there.
The Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. I just thought it was cool.
It's an Adidas homage.
Are the 3 stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's little stripes
Just
on there.
the
too.
Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. I just thought it was cool.
It's an Adidas homage.
I can't move. I can't move. I guess I didn't enter the right combination. I guess I didn't. I can't move those by hand. guess I didn't enter the right combination. I can't move those by hand. I need this wheel. Ooh, I hate that sound. Ooh, I hate that sound. I don't want to mess up. I guess I didn't end.
Are the three stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's
Yeah.
little stripes.
Just the Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. I just thought it was cool.
It's an Adidas homage.
Are the three stripes on the back of Manny's head, is that hair?
No, it's just a lazy design element to match the front of his head.
Oh, and the tops of his hands, remember? There's
Yeah.
little stripes
Just
on
the
there. too.
Day of the Dead decorations, right?
Yeah.
I never knew.
My blade's jamming the tumblers, so I can't move the wheel. My blade's jamming the tumblers, so I can't move the wheel. Stay. My blade's jamming the tumblers, so I can't move the wheel. My blade's jamming the tumblers, so I can't move the wheel. I can't move.
Those tumblers must be made of a harder steel than the outer door. I can't move those. I can't move those by hand. I need. Stay. Stay. All right, Mitchie, you can come out now. Mitchie? They're all locked. These must be... Esa cosa is heavy.
There was a the elevator in my dorm that you could push open while it was moving. You push the gate open and freeze it in between floors and hang out in the elevator for no reason. But there was a little strip of metal up in the corner that the door would plug into when it was closed to know that it was closed. And we tried to get the elevator moving with the door open by we're sticking our fingers in this thing trying to trigger the little switch. I totally got electrocuted because it was like a live actual electrical current in there instead of
ouch.
So that's where that comes from. that little door closing thing, yeah.
From ill-advised college activities?
Drunken college dorm elevator near-death pranks.
Mitchie, are you in there? It's time to come out, honey. No time for hide and seek.
There was a
I am so sorry.
There was a the elevator in my dorm that you could push open while it was moving. You push the gate open and freeze it in between floors and hang out in the elevator for no reason. But there was a little strip of metal up in the corner that the door would plug into when it was closed to know that it was closed. And we tried to get the elevator moving with the door open by sticking our fingers in this thing trying to trigger the little switch. I totally got electrocuted because it was like a live actual electrical current in there instead of
ouch.
So that's where that comes from. that little door closing thing, yeah.
From ill-advised college
ill-advised,
activities?
drunken college dorm elevator near-death pranks.
I don't want to mess up my blade.
Hey, this...
It's funny that
Go use up the air in your own room.
It's funny that the casting of Manny was it was tough because obviously you have I wanted to hire somebody who was legitimately Hispanic and not somebody putting on a fake accent.
Right. Oh, for sure.
And normally in a sort of a casting process, you'd sit down with the project leader and you'd probably have 5 to 10 candidates that you'd be looking at, and with Manny we had 2, and Tony was more Humphrey Bogart, and the other actor was more comedic, and I was terrified that Tim was going to go the comedic route because I thought Tony was the guy, and
right.
I remember printing out resumes for the 2 guys, and Tony had a lot more experience. And then there was a really cool picture of Tony taken from Havana where he's sitting up at the bar, and he just looked cool.
Yeah.
And I made sure that went in too, and so just to help kind of push it in the direction I wanted it to go.
That's
great. It's the perfect voice.
Yeah, he's great.
I couldn't reach that vent, even if I stood on Mitch's shoulders.
Wouldn't it make more sense for me to stand on your shoulders anyway?
Are you kidding? Look at your heels. I couldn't even reach it with... Now, all we have to do is wait for the room to fill up, and we'll just float on out of here. Well, this is disappointing.
Not to me. We don't float, remember?
I don't want to mess up my blade.
There was the elevator in my dorm that you could push open while it was moving. You push the gate open and freeze it in between floors and hang out in the elevator for no reason.
What about the suitcases?
What's in these cases?
Take a look. It's all the double-end tickets Hector and Dom have stolen over the years. Each one stolen from a good soul, and now they just sit there.
That's it.
What?
They just sit there. That's what's been bothering me. In the days when I was a hot salesman, I used to see double-end tickets all the time, and they move.
What do you mean they move?
They become agitated around human souls, and the ticket that belongs to you will actually fly into your hand. But these tickets, and the tickets in that suitcase of Charlie's, it's like they're dead. Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets? Ah, doesn't matter. They wouldn't fit through this hole anyway. Let's go.
Gladys, I'm so glad to see you.
Aww. Is the boat already?
Yeah, come on. Let's go eat some reef.
We're Looks like crazy. Full speed ahead.
What?
Oh.
So are you really going to bring me back and try to get your old job again?
There's no job for me now except to bring you and everyone else here to the end of the road.
But if you aren't going to use me to get your job back, why did you spend all this time trying to find me?
Meche, I needed to find you.
I give you one job, Manny. And look at you, already screwing it up. I suppose you realize that this is going to go down on your permanent record.
So, once in a while, if there was a solo part that we could get to be recorded by a real person, we would do that. But I don't know if you remember, we were kind of under a lot of schedule pressure.
Do you remember
and people were like,
one late night or two. There was a late night or two.
And then there was like, you're spending $13,000 on live musicians? Are you crazy? So we were lucky we could do what we could do at all, but
and look, where are those guys today? I don't even remember their names. And here we are. Here we are talking about Grimm.
Exactly.
Those guys are all dead.
Always let your boss win. You know,
I'm sorry. I mean, I hope they're dead.
Save the comic book one-liners for when you're winning.
I hope they're happy.
I don't believe you, Calavera. You're losing a fight, so you pick on one of my pets? Why aren't you more like me, Manny? I've been trying to show you how, but you don't listen. If you just adopt the proper attitude, just look what could happen to you.
Name?
Pugsy Pelagiano, sir.
Waiting room number 2. Next.
Flores! Flores! ¿Estás bien?
Glottis, where'd you go this time? Oh, Glottis would love... Hello? Hello? Whew, they're empty. That's the road we came in on. Nothing out there but snow and a perfectly good pair of sunglasses.
It's funny because Pete was always great at knowing. Not only would he know it was going to slip, he would always say, no, and then he'd spew out a date, and he was always within.
Manny!
What's wrong?
Go up there and see!
Hey, where is everybody?
Waiting area 2.
How long do they have to wait in there?
Until they have tickets. They were issued tickets on the number 9, and they don't have them now. The punishment for selling double-end tickets is very severe.
But they didn't sell their tickets. Their tickets were stolen.
By who?
Hector Le Mans stole them to sell to rich people who don't deserve them.
That might be them now. Let's see just what they deserve.
What happened to that train?
Your destiny cannot be purchased.
I don't understand. Why has everyone been detained?
Given a ticket, a soul may not sell it.
They didn't sell their tickets. Someone else is trying to.
Bring the tickets, that is all.
The tickets are in El Morro. How can I get there quickly?
These rails are already there.
Well, thanks for the help.
The gate opens. The gate closes. It does not help.
Well, thanks for the help.
The gate opens. The gate, it does not help. Recently, I was visited by a bird with a human head. Do you know such a bird, Manuel Calavera?
No. How do you know my...
He knew you, and for you, he left this note.
The guy who played these Peruvian flutes, I believe, is from Peru. To look at the credits again, he lives in the Mission. It's like the whole Grimm score lives in the Mission.
I think this is something I should keep to myself. I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. Híjole. I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly.
And it's also spiritual in the way that it feels. That's how you feel like you feel like this is the end of the game, because when you get to the part in the story where like people are in the clouds or in the heavens, and you start to hear the pan flute music, you know you're kind of near the end of the story somehow.
Right.
But then you go back and there's a whole nother year, which creates a feeling of the game being super long.
Something won't let me go in there.
Like I'm playing Mario right now, and there's more and more levels. After the end of the story, there's more and more, which makes it feels really long. But if you just it ends at level 5, and then there's 2 more levels. But if you had 7 levels, people wouldn't appreciate it.
Oh, gran demonio roidor. Oh, gran demonio roidor.
Glottis.
Hear the name of the Great One.
Glottis.
Glottis.
What's happening?
How many days has this grand demon gone without driving?
Well, we've been hiking for months.
Months? Oh, then the noble one will surely die.
But...
You know, Leslie, I remember how you worked to keep everyone...
Gladys, I'm sorry. Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
Couldn't stop. Have to save everyone.
Are you in much pain, my friend?
Only because I let you down, Manny.
What can I get you? Will anything help?
I need to race to fly like the old days, Manny. In the bone wagon.
But the bone wagon's not here, carnal.
Maybe I'll see her on the other side.
Can't we make a new hot rod?
Those days are done, Manny. No more hot rod. Hey, what's that red thing?
The gondola?
Sweet decal work. Listen, fellas, somebody get a pen. There it is, my final work. It could save me if you have the right, fuel.
What fuel, Gladys? Gladys, what fuel? Gladys, what fuel? It looks like blueprints for a rock. They're brilliant.
Leslie, I remember how you worked to keep everyone together and to help the team snuff out bugs and get this thing finished up, and I have to
Sadly, I have... Your mother doesn't work here. Since nobody listened to my last warning about keeping this refrigerator clean, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to lock it until some of you grow up. Signed, the Facilities Department. My joints don't need any oil. My joints don't need any oiling right. It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. They're brilliant. I think this is something I should keep to myself. I can't read demons, but even if I don't want. It looks like they're. Hey, how about a gondola ride, Gremlins?
It is too big. The gondola.
It looks like blueprints for... They're brilliant. It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. They're... Hey, how'd you get free?
I was born free, Boatnik. Nobody gave me no ticket, so nobody can take it away.
So what are you pacing around here for?
Trying to unwind a little bit. All those years circling in one direction. Gotta even out my life in this world before I go on to the next, you know. Well, that ought to do her.
Goodbye, Chapito.
Happy trails, Captain. And thanks for setting me straight back there in the drink. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, hide it under...
I could march around in it like Geppetto, but I think a better way to even out my life would be to go get those tickets.
Now that's the ashtray that is the very first shot of the game and the very last shot of the game are the same, just like in Sugarland Express. So the shot of the little figurines around that ashtray is the same as the band that stands around this fountain later.
Right.
That's how you prove that you took at least one film school class in college.
I can't.
You make the first shot the same as the last shot. Basic stuff.
Save. My friend is sick.
1,000 have died. They were created to protect.
Well,
the gate. The gate. It does not.
Alex.